All right, I'm Chef Johnny. It is Texas style cuisine. We are actually closing out the Gastronomy Congress reception that we had here today. I served a barbecue meal to these gentlemen. These are two nice gentlemen that I met. A chef from Mexico, and he teaches gastronomy in San Luis, Brazil. And so, anyways, it was a great time. We're going to put the little talk I gave on afterwards, but I'm going to let them tell you a little bit about their schools and where they're from, and maybe in English, maybe in Mexican, and also in Portuguese, right? Or in Spanish and in Portuguese. Go ahead, guys. Introduce yourself.
Okay, my name is Wadih Aboud, sou professor de gastronomia do Instituto Federal do Maranhão, da Universidade Tecnológica. Nós estaremos orgulhosamente sediando o 5º Congresso de Gastronomia das Américas, que será realizado na cidade de São Luís, no nordeste do Brasil, em 6 a 8 de novembro do ano de 2019. E conto com a presença de todos vocês lá para brilhantar, para engrandecer o nosso evento. Muito obrigado.
¿Qué tal? Mi nombre es Benjamin Nara, soy chef, director de la carrera de gastronomía en la Universidad Tecnológica de la Riviera Maya, en México. Y pues bueno, estuve aquí compartiendo un poco de la cocina peninsular, haciendo unos ceviches, unos tamales, un dulce de papaya y aprendiendo también de cocina tejana y de barbecue Texas. Y la verdad la pasamos estupendo y esperamos vernos en Brasil el próximo año para el 5º Congreso Encuentro de las Américas en Brasil, ¿no? Un placer, maravilloso San Antonio, la gente, la comida, bebida, cerveza, extraordinario, ¿no?
Good time.
Yes.
Good time. Very good weekend.
Good time to see you.
Yes, very good visit. In a year, they're going to be down in San Luis, Brazil, on his campus, so it's going to be an exciting time. If you're a chef, if you're administrator or whatever in the gastronomy, that's the place to be about 1 year from now. But anyways,
waiting for you and for everybody there.
That's right. So thank y'all very much for being here. I hope y'all enjoy the talk I give on Texas barbecue that's following right now.
Perfect.
Okay. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, too.
It was very good to meet y'all. It was great spending the day with y'all, and I know we'll have some translation going on, so if I get to going too fast, then y'all tell me slow down, and y'all can do the translating, right? And we can stop and start. But I am Chef Johnny Stewart. I'm an adjunct professor here at St. Philip's. So that means I work here part-time. My full-time job is I teach culinary arts at a high school here on the south side of San Antonio. And I teach the junior and senior classes there. And there's 2 teachers at my school, and the other lady helps me out. She does the freshmen and sophomores, and then I do the advanced classes. I am a graduate of St. Philip's College. Yeah. So I guess I had everybody over there but Chef De La Fuente, and I was scared to take her class. But anyways, it was my pleasure to be here, and I'm very honored to be part of St. Philip's, for Renee to invite me to come up and cook for y'all today. How was y'all's lunch today? It was good? Okay. I hope y'all enjoy that. So I'm going to talk just a little bit about Texas barbecue, but also to give you an idea about me is I used to do competition cookings. The people you see on TV that compete, that you'll see like on Barbecue Pitmasters and that, if y'all have seen those, I have beat some of those people. So I was very good. I have near 100 top 10 places in competitions. I have like 94, 95 top 10 finishes. The rib contest here, they asked me to quit entering it. So I had won it too many times. But anyways, so we've been very successful from grand champion to 10th place. So I was very fortunate to have that and to be able to compete and to kind of hone my skills at that and then learn. And one thing that we've talked about a lot about Texas is, y'all will find out, is it's a blending of cultures. Very much so. Texas is a huge melting pot, which the Spanish influence that we get from Spain, from Mexico is very strong, but also the German heritage in this area is very strong. My mother's grandfather was the first child born in the United States. My grandma's dad, they came over from Europe. They traveled from Germany to Spain. From Spain, they sailed directly into Port Lavaca, Texas, and they landed here and they settled here in Texas. So in that, we see a blending. And when we talk about barbecue, we know the word comes from what? barbacoa, right? So that's the origin of the word. So we know we have that strong Spanish or Mexican influence coming in, but also we have the influence of Germany and Europe, because what did Germans brought with them? They brought with them sausage, and they brought how to smoke meats and cure meats. They did it in a closed cabinet, right? But the Mexican style was what? Open fires. If we go back into the islanders, open fires from the influence of the Africans and items like that down in the islands. But also a lot of times our barbacoa is in a covered pit. So really Texas barbecue started off as a blending of those cultures, of mixing those two together, of the German, of the other European countries that understood smoking, understood sausage making, and curing meats along with the cooking with the live fire from the Spanish or from Mexico is where we get that. And that's where we come together to make it. One thing I will tell you is Texas is not, okay? Texas barbecue is not salt, pepper, and beef. If you watch TV today, and if y'all ever see some of the shows on TV, they always go, oh, we're going to Texas, we have to eat beef. Or we're going to Texas, we're going to have beef. Or you'll see a lot of these shows and they will tell you, oh, we only use salt and pepper. That is a very, very small area of Texas barbecue. Around the capital of Austin, Luling, Lockhart, there was some strong German influences up there. And what that developed in was an area that is very much salt and pepper. But if you get outside of that area, there's so many more wonderful spices you will find out. Like today on our brisket, you had seasoning salt, you had pepper, and you had garlic. So I don't use a whole lot on mine. Sometimes I do. On your chicken today, you had paprika, you had chili powder, you have salt, you have mustard powder, black pepper, you have oregano, and sometimes I use that spice on my briskets also, depending on the situation. But if you move away from that small pocket around Austin, there are many diverse flavors in the barbecue of Texas. Beef is the king in Texas, though, I will tell you that. The brisket, everybody understand the brisket is right, pecha, is that how we say that? Right here, okay, and then of course we had the chicken, and then the sausage you had today was a Polish pork sausage, and so we'd say chorizo de polaco, right? That's the way we would say it here. I don't know, how would you say it officially? I don't know what the official is, but in San Antonio, that's what we call it in San Antonio. And but that's what y'all had today with a lot of different spices. You had potato salad, which is the traditional, very traditional to go with barbecue. Also, the coleslaw is very traditional to be with Texas barbecue. And today I did a barracho bean to go along with it. So it was our beans with some cilantro, some tomato, some onion, chili powders, again, oregano, salt, and cominos, right? So that was kind of what your meal consists of. It was a very traditional Texas type barbecue. But I've been doing this for a long time. Yes, sir. The barbecue sauce, that's my, everything you had today is my recipes, or it's a mixture of my wife and I working together. But that is my barbecue sauce y'all had today. Did anybody like the barbecue sauce? Yeah. So like that? We are trying to get that bottled and canned so we can start selling it. But it's kind of an ordeal to get that done. But that's one of our future goals to do that. But that's just kind of a short on Texas barbecue, right? You know, if you go to eat ribs, majority of time, if you go to get costillo, right, the ribs, if you go to get those, usually in Texas, you're going to find a spare rib from the pig. They come from the pork, right? You do not find beef ribs. Maybe on Saturdays or Saturday, Sunday, some barbecue joints will, but throughout the week, they don't. Pork ribs much, much excel over the beef ribs. So we do eat a lot of pork. And now in Texas, there's a lot of wild pigs that were really overrunning. So you will see hunters and people trapping them and a lot of pork eating. When you move to the east of the United States, the eastern states, southern states, if someone says barbecue there, let's have barbecue, they go and they eat pork shoulder. That's what they mean. In Texas, when you say, let's go have barbecue, you mean brisket. But we do eat many things besides brisket. So I just want to emphasize the fact that it's not just brisket and it's not just salt and pepper. Our friends from Brazil, that's one thing he was asking me yesterday was, salt and pepper? And I go, no, no, more than that, because he had seen, I heard, oh no, Texas, salt and pepper, that's what the TV has been portraying a lot lately. But there's so many great flavors that's out there. When you go to West Texas or South Texas, go up into East Texas, you know, and start getting more of the black influence that had influenced there. That, you know, there's some great barbecue and everything that had came down through that East Texas land. And you'll see more pork cooked over in East Texas. A lot of different ways by some fantastic pit makers. And so it's a lot of fun. I enjoy barbecue. The hardest thing about barbecue, who knows what the hardest thing about getting good barbecue is? What would you think? Timing, because it's never the same. It's never the same. Where if I'm going to bake a cake, what do? I turn my oven on to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. I put my cake in 30 minutes, I go take my cake out and it's done. Every time, right? Every time. But with barbecue, when we're doing, especially like with brisket is, it's never the same size. It's never the same shape. Your wood fire is never exactly the same temperature. You never have the same humidity, right? So you have all these different factors. So as you're cooking it, things change. Traditionally, we call barbecue low and slow. Low temperatures over a long period of time. And if we started asking Chef Will would already tell me I cook mine too hot, and I would tell him he cooks his too slow and too low, right? But it's very different. It's like going to Mexico and asking for a mole. Are every mole the same? Every person's mole is different, right? Who makes the best mole? Your mom. Mom makes the best. Everyone's mom makes the best mole. And your mother will tell you, no, my mama made the best mole, right? But they're different from family to family. They're different from town to town. And they're different from state to state, right? Barbecue is exactly the same way. Every person is different. It's never the same. These briskets that y'all had today were cooked at about 280, 285 degrees. When my wife picked up the brisket, she couldn't get any smaller ones, so we cooked 2 briskets, and they were 19 pounds apiece. So my son did the cooking of the briskets last night, and he stayed up all night. That's why he didn't come with us today. He's asleep right now. But we cooked them a little hotter than we normally do to make sure they were done in time for the event today. But it's a long process. The way I cook them, it's 45 minutes to an hour per pound. The way Chef Will cooks them, it's going to be about an hour and a half per pound. And that's, again, right ballpark. You're kind of guessing, I think. But every time, every cook is different, every piece of meat is different, and nothing's ever the same. Anybody have any questions about kind of what's going on or what we've done? Or yes, sir.
Do you brine your meat, your poultry?
No, my poultry is not brined, and that's a good question. I have brined in the past, and the problem and this is the problem I have with brining with chicken is that not only is your meat joined in that water, the skin is joined in that water, and it gives you a tough skin. So if you're gonna brine your chickens, your poultry, you have to realize you are gonna have to have a nice hot fire, probably cook directly over the fire, to render not only the fat out of that, but now you have to render all the moisture you put into that skin. So if you brine, you have to fight.
When I do leg quarters like we did, I brine them in orange juice and spices we will talk about, my secret, right? But I brine it in orange juice and spices. I like a lot of chili, there's chilies in there. Mm-hmm. And then I'll get a hot coal fire, coals, and I'll sear the outside of the chicken, the skin, and then I'll pop it in the smoker to finish it off.
Right. But again, it's that hot. You got to have that heat to get the moisture you put into that skin to get it back out. And sometimes, especially if you're cooking briskets and ribs and chicken all on the same pit, you want to put your chicken in the hottest part. But if you brined it, you just have to remember you got to get that heat to pull that out, or you're going to have a tough skin on your bird. Make sense? Okay, thank y'all. Thank you, dear. Okay, let's see. I don't know who's gastronomy joined in. Phil in Florence. Phil, good to have you here. Just had a quick talk. We got our mariachis coming back in. I had Juan back here, one of our students at St. Philip's, on camera duty for me today. But the mariachis are back. They're going to be entertaining some more. And hey, Rudy Gutierrez, good to have you here, Rudy. Appreciate it. But John's here. But that's it. So y'all heard what I had to say about Texas barbecue. Hope y'all enjoyed that. I'm going to stay on a little bit longer just to give y'all some music of the mariachis. They've done some beautiful, beautiful music today, and we're going to let y'all enjoy them. Okay. I'm going to sign off and let y'all go. Take care. Bye.